What's up everybody, SuperDorks fan here for another car review. This is of course the 2016 Jeep Renegade Trailhawk edition. Huge thanks to Jeep for providing me with this very cool little Jeep to review for you guys today. So, about the Renegade here. Well, it's a very cool little crossover SUV that's brand new for the 2015 model year and back again here for 2016. And these things have been a huge hit. They seem to be running around everywhere. So I thought it was time to review one and see for myself what all the hype is about. So I really like the styling of it though. You know, it has a lot of Wrangler influences here with the single circular headlamps and the very boxy shape and design. And I think that it's kind of, you know, cool, cute, and still aggressive all at the same time, especially here in this Trailhawk edition. It's you know, got these tow hooks and this black stripe on the hood, and obviously in this granite color it's a little more aggressive looking as well. And overall I think it's a really cool little boxy SUV. Right, for the interior of the 2016 Jeep Renegade Trailhawk here, well, it's very cool, it's very unique, and it's just fun, and that's something that's really missing in a lot of car interiors these days. Anyway though, first things first, sitting down in these seats, they're very comfortable cloth seats. Of course, this being a crossover, it's not going to be too sporty of a seat, but they actually do have pretty good torso bolsters here, and but you know, they're wide enough to accommodate all body types, and they're like I said, they're very comfortable. They have a cool little cloth pattern here, and the Trailhawk has a nice embroidery. Next though is the steering wheel in the Jeep Renegade here, which is really nice. Here in the Trailhawk, again, it's leather wrapped and just a really nice beefy wheel. It has nice 9-3 grip, good little 10-2 notches. You have your same basic buttons like you see on any other Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep vehicle, and they all work great and are very easy to use. Coming up to the gauges here, those are also very fun and exciting to look at. I love how the red line is kind of mud splashed and just, you know, extra little things that you don't have to have, but it's just fun. It just adds to the character and personality of this car, and that really goes a long way with me. I really appreciate seeing that kind of stuff. Anyway, you know, good gauges though, very easy to read, and then you have that nice color center display, which is a really great feature to have on even you know, this lower end Jeep. That's something that's straight out of the higher end Jeeps, and it's really nice. It's very high resolution, full color, gives you lots of great information, and is a really nice option to have. Coming over to the center of the dashboard here, you have this very nice touchscreen head unit. It takes a lot of the same features you get in the Uconnect touchscreens, although it's not quite as large of a screen, doesn't have the same menu layout exactly, but very similar and looks great. By the way, this is again another feature of the Trailhawk edition. The lower end versions will have a simpler radio. By the way, this Trailhawk edition, the base price is around $26,500. The base price of the Renegade in general is, I think, around $18,000. This one, as tested, the sticker price on this one is right around $30,000. So pretty fully loaded and stuff, and so that's why you got all these nice toys. Speaking of toys, coming down to the rest of the buttons here, you have dual mode, heated seats on both seats here in the front. You also have a heated steering wheel, which is very nice, you know, for cold days and things like that. And then you have the automatic climate controls down here, and they're really nice, nicely rubberized, have nice, you know, metal trim rings here, and just actually feel pretty upscale and very high quality. And so great to have those, very easy to use. And then you have your four-wheel drive controls down here, which is awesome for the four-wheel drive versions of the Renegade. You have a USB jack and an auxiliary jack, and then you have your 12-volt power outlet there. So great to have all those, and yeah, just overall a really nicely laid out interior. As far as storage space in the Renegade, it's pretty good. So you have bottle holders on the doors with a tiny little extra cubby there, and then coming along to the center, you have a nice little cubby which is also a map. It's very cool on the bottom of this cubby here, and it's not overly large, but you can fit a couple of things in there. Nice to have nonetheless. And then coming back here, you have your two cup holders, which are a nice size and will accommodate all drinks, I think, pretty easily. And then you have this skinny center armrest, which is actually super soft, very nicely padded, and just a really nice thing to rest your elbow on. Anyway, you open that up, and then you have your large cubby here. It's actually very deep. You have another map there on the bottom of that, which is another cool little touch. And then you also have a USB jack in there, and so overall, really great little center armrest console there. Backseat space in the Renegade is actually really great. I was wondering, you know, being a smaller crossover, how it would do, but I'm 5'9", me sitting behind myself, I have plenty of legroom there, several inches, about as much as you get in most mid-sized sedans these days. So lots of legroom, of course, lots of headroom as well with the boxy shape that, you know, you will never have any trouble with headroom in this vehicle, I don't think. And so overall, just actually a really spacious interior. Trunk space in the Renegade is pretty good. So you have the hatch, of course, and it's a very wide. You have little pockets on both sides. But my only complaint with the whole hatch area is that it's not very deep. It's kind of shallow, and when you open up that cover there, all you have is your spare tire and a couple little pockets on the left side there. Otherwise, though, there isn't any additional storage. I just wish it was a little bit deeper, but it's still, you know, a plenty roomy hatch. You can fit a good amount of things in there. All right, so sort of go for a drive. This, you know, being one of the nicer versions, has the keyless start, so you just have this nice key fob like you get in a lot of the other Jeeps. Leave that in your pocket, hit the engine start button, which, by the way, around it says "To New Adventures." Very cool. Start that up, and the car starts right up. Alright, so setting off in the 2016 Jeep Renegade Trailhawk. So first thing that I'm noticing, now I'm on a very rough road, lots of potholes and things like that, and it actually has a very comfortable ride. It has a very car-like ride. You know, a Jeep Wrangler would be really bouncing over a lot of this stuff and be kind of rough. This, you know, big potholes, and it soaks them up really well, actually. I'm pretty impressed with it. Another thing, though, you know, this does still feel like an SUV in the way that it drives as far as visibility and things like that go. From the driver's seat here, you're sitting up a little bit higher, so you feel like you're actually in an SUV. It doesn't feel like a car in that regard. Visibility is excellent, by the way. You know, you have a huge windshield, a great view out. You do have a hood that comes up a little bit, but it barely gets in your way, so you know, you can still see out of the front very well. Sides, you can see out very well here, you know, with the large windows. You do have a bit of a B-pillar here, but with the 4 doors and you know, everything, it's very easy to look around and not a big deal whatsoever. And the view out of the back is pretty good as well. Alright, so I just turned onto this back road here, and let's see how it does. Okay, so it's okay. So as you can expect, this isn't a drag racer, and it's not even a performance vehicle. So because of that, the 0 to 60 on this car is 9.1 seconds, and that's because it has 180 horsepower 4-cylinder engine, 2.4 liter to be exact, the same one that's in the Dodge Dart, but this is a good bit heavier than the Dodge Dart at around 3,500 pounds for this Renegade here with 4-wheel drive and whatnot. So you know, because of that, it's not fast. It's not fast at all, and there's no beating around the bush there. It's not fast. So you know, but it's okay. It's fun. It's eager to downshift. That's one thing. This is a 9-speed automatic transmission, and if you are looking for more fun, they do offer a 6-speed manual transmission, which is great news. Save the manuals. And but this 9-speed, it's pretty good. It doesn't hunt around for gears too much. It seems to figure out what gear it needs to be in pretty quickly. All right, so coming up to a tight corner here, let's see how the body roll is. Again, we're in a Jeep, so not going to push it too much. And there's body roll there, like you would expect. It's a crossover and a Jeep at that, so it's not going to pretend to be a backroads carver, but man, getting up this hill, it's like a red line affair. But see, it's keeping it in a lower gear here for me and giving me the higher RPMs that I need to, you know, get going and get up this hill and whatnot. So it's actually pretty good. You know, with the 9-speed being so eager to downshift, it definitely helps to ease the lack of power. And you know, I think most people would find it sufficient, you know, for daily driving, but trying to do anything sporty, of course, it's a little bit of a challenge. Another little acceleration here. See, as soon as I floor it, it does immediately downshift, and that time wasn't so bad, but I'm going down a hill a little bit, so that helps. But yeah, you know, performance is decent. Yeah, handling is fine. Like I said, it rides very nice, you know, compared to Wranglers and things like that, which are a lot more truck-like and rough. This is very smooth and soaks up bumps nicely, and it's a nice thing to drive. And so, you know, it actually does feel a little bit playful here with this 9-speed, and you know, it doesn't actually feel heavy necessarily as well, even though it's a heavier vehicle and the engine is a little bit down on power. As far as the handling goes, I mean, it's got a pretty quick steering rack here, and feels kind of playful actually, and I actually really like it. But yeah, I'm gonna drive this car around for an entire week here, and I'll come back and give you some updated impressions. Alright, so I've been driving the 2016 Jeep Renegade Trailhawk here for almost a week now, and it's really started to grow on me. I mean, yes, it doesn't have a lot of power, and it's not very sporty in the, sports car sense of the word, but it's actually been a fun car to drive around for just daily driving activities. The reason being is that, it has these lower limits, and obviously being a Jeep, it's not going to handle, as good as cars and things like that, but it actually, because of those lower limits, it's more fun, going around a corner at 40 miles per hour, and this is a lot more eventful than it is in most cars that can handle it without a sweat. And so, that combined with this 9-speed automatic transmission that's very eager to downshift and is very happy to give you the higher RPMs to, motivate this little thing to get up and go, it actually makes it very playful, and it makes driving kind of fun at regular speeds. And, throughout my week of, the boring daily driving, runs to the grocery store and the mall and things like that, it's different. And that's the thing that I think I've really become smitten by with this little Jeep, is its personality. I mean, this thing has character for days, and that's something that honestly I don't think you can even really say about most of the competition out there in this segment. It's just, I mean, between, you got all these red colored pieces on the interior that brighten up the interior and make it more exciting, and of course the cutesy exterior looks and all the cool little, I guess Easter eggs that they've put all over this car that some people may find gimmicky. I think that stuff really, is a fun way to make a car more exciting and interesting than just standard ho-hum cars without any of that kind of stuff. So as a package and as a whole, I think this is a really cool option in this segment. If you're looking for a compact SUV crossover type thing, it's really, I think, probably the most unique and the coolest choice of the bunch. It's probably not the fastest or things like that, but it is very refined. That's one thing, I've said that when I first got in this, and now that I've been driving for a week, it still is very smooth, very comfortable and refined. And it's just, I mean, Jeeps have just jumped up by leaps and bounds recently, and it's a very, very refined thing. But a few other things to note here in my week of driving. I did mostly city driving, I would say. I did very little highway driving in it, but the highway driving I did help to bring my miles per gallon average up a bit. I got 21.4 for my average miles per gallon, and so I think the average fuel economy is supposed to be 24 is what it's rated at, 21 in the city and 29 on the highway here for the 4-wheel drive models. Front-wheel drive models will have a little bit better fuel economy, but I think that's pretty acceptable. If you're buying an SUV, then that's one of the sacrifices you're making over cars of a similar price point. And that's the last thing I want to come to, is the price of this Jeep, because although it does have lots of character and it's fun and exciting, it is a little bit pricey here in this Trailhawk version. Now, of course, I have basically a fully loaded Trailhawk, which has the fancy radio and the keyless entry and the push button start and all that kind of stuff that most people could probably do without. And the Trailhawk starts in the mid $26,000 range. This one, as tested though, is a hair over $30,000, at $30,075 to be exact. So at that price, it's a little bit more of a tougher sell. If you take it easy on the options, I think, this makes a whole lot of sense at the, $26,000. And if you do want to get just a, front-wheel drive or a lesser version of the Renegade, they start at, $18,000 and change. And, I think at that price point, it's even more of a, really fun option. I mean, there's not a whole lot of really fun, exciting things you can get under 20,000 bucks. And so this is a really cool little option in that way. But yeah, it's a really nice little thing here, and it wouldn't be my choice, of course, but I think that it's a spectacular option for those looking for a small crossover and want something really fun and unique that stands out from the crowd. So anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the Renegade, and I'll see you next time. Take care.